What's up, Bucs fans? Welcome back to another episode of Pirate Parlay here on the Sick Podcast Network. As always, I'm your host, JC Allen, bringing you another special guest. We've been so fortunate with these Buccaneers players and coaches for coming on this season and giving you some great insight, great interviews, and kind of learning more about them off the field as well, some of their likes, dislikes, all that stuff. Let you know a little bit more about the player, and that doesn't stop this week. We've got another interview. Find out who it is after we come back.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Pirate Parlay.
Battle intercepted, picked off in the end zone. Bucs are going to beat the Chiefs. We're the champions of the world.
The sickest Tampa Bay Buccaneers podcast. It's going to be sick.
Welcome back here to the Pirate Parlay on the Sick Podcast Network. Let's dive right into it. We got a special guest this week. Another one of these Bucs players. Happy they're joining us, and none other than defensive linemen. They use them all sorts of areas on the line. But Logan Hall of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Logan, how are you doing, man?
Living the dream, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. Happy to have you on. Happy to chop it up a little bit, get into some football talk, and then kind of get a little bit more to know a little bit more about you and let the fans know a little bit more about you. But let's jump right into it. I feel, I watch the tape and everything. Just looking at it, I think you're coming off arguably, your best game of your career. You were all over the place. Pro Football Focus gave you a high grade, even though they're not the end all be all. But what was different about this game? Did you feel any different? Did you feel it was your best game? Just talk to me about the game itself.
Honestly, I'm coming off the flu, so I've been kind of under the weather. Body aches, things like that.
Hey, Jordan.
What's that?
I said, okay, Michael Jordan. You had yourself a flu game.
Yeah, but I didn't feel the best. But playing in the rain, I just had a great time. It was really fun. Preparation and everything was the same. Nothing really changed for me.
So, like while you're playing though, did you feel like an extra juice or anything like that? Was it kind of like the rain kind of got you amped up, and then Mike goes for 75 yards? Does that kind of lift the energy up and like make you kind of want to match what he's bringing to the table?
Oh, every time, it's a hard dude to match, but he's on another level. But it was a great time, and plus, the rain kind of made him, one-dimensional. You knew what you're going to kind of get. And it kind of just, felt like backyard football. It was fun, playing in the rain, and it was like, what the hell,
Yeah, that's the best. The elements were always the best. Snow, a little bit of rain. I don't know. You get the snow? You went to Houston, did you?
TBD. I've never played in the snow before.
Okay. Well, Packers.
I played in some damn cold games, but not the snow yet.
Packers coming up next week after the Falcons, so maybe your first little snow game there. It looked like they had some success running the ball, but then they kind of went away from that. What did you kind of get a feel for? Obviously, you guys are known for your run defense, but was that kind of like, okay, you guys are well, let's roll with this, I guess.
Yeah, well, yeah, as you said, we kind of had some injuries, and it's probably why they kind of stuck to it, and I don't know why they got away from it, but. I feel like we did a pretty good job against the run, considering the circumstances.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you got both of your linebackers out. Then, you suffer an injury there. Now you have Ryan Neal coming up to play linebacker. Luckily, he's a big body, big frame guy, and he took a couple snaps during the week. But, you can tell, I don't know if it's a confidence or just, having the system down. We talked about this earlier in the offseason prior to the season, but it looks like you're just playing more confident, more aggressive. And just kind of playing your game out there.
Yeah, being my second year in the scheme, I can kind of just have confidence in knowing what I'm doing, because nothing's really changed as far as the calls and things like that. So, I can kind of just rely on my athleticism, fall back on my training. That's probably why.
And you look at the way Bowles utilizes you; it's up and down the line. I mean, he's used you at more 3, but you played some 4-eye. Which is what's your comfortability playing all of those spots, and kind of which one's your favorite to get after?
I still feel like a three tech at heart. That's what I played in college.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's where most of my experience lies. But I kind of have a prototypical four. Body frame. That's kind of cool. I love going down with the nose and rushing. I can play there in the run, but my frame is not kind of ideal
Right.
being down there over that ball. But
No Vita Vea.
yeah, Vita got a little bit more ass than I do. But I can play it all. Especially rushing down inside. I feel like it's a mismatch pretty good. But yeah, didn't make me no difference.
Yeah, and both likes to utilize you and the other defensive linemen on to set up twists, be the looper and stuff like that. What do you prefer? Do you prefer being the one that set it up, or do you prefer being the looper? What's kind of like your preference there? Or
Well, I mean, when you get a center like we did last week, being the penetrator is pretty fun. You get to knock the hell out of them, but it really don't make me no difference. I feel like when you're the looper, you kind of get to see a little bit more action. Guys bite on the penetrator. Looper comes around free. Doesn't always work out like that, but I feel like more often than not, the penetrator gets free a little bit more. So, but however, it didn't. It's not always cut and dry. We could slide the front, and I could be the penetrator and go to the looper, and vice versa. So, do it all.
it's so like because Bowles, his defense is so like. I want to say it's scheme friendly toward the defensive linemen, especially guys that have versatility, because he asks you guys to do a lot of different things. I mean, he'll ask you to line up wide. He'll ask you to line up over the nose. I mean, he puts you guys in a variety of different ways to try to get you to win. And speaking of, ways to win, college, I feel like your bread and butter was really that swim move. And you use it a lot too. But what kind of other moves have you been kind of adding to the toolbox that that maybe you haven't unleashed yet that you're utilizing as well? Okay.
I feel like power is really underrated. People get caught up in the flashy, swim, cross chops, all those different moves. But if you put your hands on somebody and really give it to them, that's underrated. Such a good move, and I feel like I could even use that more. Sometimes it's a kind of a chess game. You got to keep them guessing, and sometimes I'll fall back too heavy on that swim, and people tell me go back to power, keep them guessing, keep them honest. But yeah, I've added a couple of different moves to the repertoire. Chop spin. I haven't busted that out yet, but
okay. Save it for this weekend. Save it for this weekend. Everything on the line. Speaking of that, like, what's your preparation like? So, like, you talk about keeping them guessing, and obviously, you like to set up moves for later on the line and kind of get one guy thinking you're going this way, and then you bust something out on him because he's not expecting it. What's your game preparation like during the week, and then like your adjustments in game, like how to set guys up? How does that go? Start with like the pregame.
It's evolved so much from year one to year two. Most of it is, film work, watching how guys. The first thing I always look for is a run pass tip. Sometimes guards are better than others at hiding it. But if you almost always look at the tackles, they'll tell you, because they're blocking people that get paid a lot of money, so they can't afford to be in a run stance and it'd be passed, and that dude just take off the ball and get run right past him. So they give it away most of the time. But watching tape, and then when I get in the game, see if that holds true. And if I have to make adjustments, I'll make adjustments. But if I'm in the game before somebody else, or they're in the game before me, just talking to them, hey, he's gonna jump set you, or he's low with his hands, just talking to each other so we can see what we're going to get or know what we're going to get before we get out there.
And how do you kind of counteract some of those things that they're doing? Like, if someone says, hey, he's low, he's jump setting, hey, he's low with his hands, like, what do you go in when you go in? What are your thoughts? What tools do you use to kind of, since you have an idea what's coming, combat that?
Just maybe change my stance. So someone tells me that, he's a jump setter, or they're getting jump set, or I experience it myself, might change my stance. So if I take my first step with my outside foot, I'm ready to plant off and go back inside, counter inside, things like that.
Okay. Okay. As far as like we mentioned, both alignments, the way he utilizes you guys, what's your favorite alignment that he likes that you like to be out there?
That's a good question. I like rushing from the three. Um, I feel like that's probably the best spot to rush from, like for my skill set. Or probably out on the edge. Tackles don't see bigger bodies like me as much. They have a hard time stopping speed to power, so that's always fun to do. But I like the three. Getting those one-on-ones there, putting those guards in space, it's a little bit more fun. You can do a lot more.
Especially with when you're playing next to Via down there.
Oh, yeah.
He occupies a couple guys over there.
Especially when the back is on my side and I know the center is sliding away, he has to slide to Vita, and I got that guard one-on-one.
Take advantage of it. What's it like playing with Vita? What like having him next to you? Like, do you just kind of go in there and you're like, all right, expect to see a lot of the one-on-ones today. I expect,
They definitely got to honor him. And even Kalaji, Kalaji is a hell of a pass rusher. So I know whenever I'm in the game with them, I have a better chance for one-on-ones because they got to honor those guys. They're pretty lethal.
And about Kalijah, since you brought him up, he's haven't been having a fantastic stretch since he's got back from injury. I think he leads all rookie defensive tackles with tackles for loss. He's got, I think, 3 sacks on the season. We talked about this prior too, and you said he's just came in and he's ready to go. He's just. But what about how impressive kind of has it been to see him, just jump right in, especially after missing all of training camp and part of the season, and just kind of not skip a beat and just be electric in both getting after the quarterback, but also holding his own as a run blocker, which I guess that was his biggest knock coming out because of his size, was how's he going to hold up in the run game, and so far pretty good. Yeah,
it's a testament to him, especially considering I was just a rookie. I just experienced that. That's he's a good dude, good player. He's just freaky athletic, freaky quick, and he's really strong. So, watching him, have the success that he's had, happy for him. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's only opportunities to go up from there. Speaking about someone who has been there for you, and kind of like you're there for the young guys with the rookies and stuff like that. But Will Golston has been your mentor and a guy that you've been able to bounce stuff off of, and vice versa. How instrumental, how important, how much of an impact has he made? I know you're stoked to see him come back earlier this year when we talked, but just kind of Will Golston and his impact on your career and how he's kind of helped you, and vice versa.
Will's been instrumental for me this year because, as much as I do know now that I didn't know last year, he knows even more. Any question that I might have, he's got an answer to. If he's watching me from the sideline, little critiques that he has, it's always great to take, that info from a vet. He picks up on stuff that I might not. But, he's a leader, even off the field. Questions I have about like business and stuff like that. He's just an old head. He knows what he's doing. He knows a lot about stuff I don't know. So it's always cool picking his brain, about football and even other stuff. Yeah, he's been a great help.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Always, looking out for younger guys. He's always great with the media, and definitely a huge contributor to the community. And that's always great to see as well. You've gone up some tough offensive lines this season. Eagles were definitely one of them, but some of these other offensive lines were pretty difficult. Who gave you the most trouble? Who was the matchup where you're like, wow, that was a tough one there, or that was a struggle, or someone that kind of like, I got to see this guy again because I got to give him, he might have got the best of me, but I know I can, something like that.
I would probably say, the 49ers are really good.
Yeah.
I would probably say Atlanta, just from like a defensive lineman's perspective. their zone, left and right, they move so fast off the ball. You have to really be locked into, that shoulder tip or that knee or whatever you watch, because they're flying out of there. And, you have to be on point with your hands, especially when you're taking like slant steps. If that center's coming to you and you're spiking from a three, you got to be ready to shoot your hands because they'll overtake you like that. So I would definitely say, Atlanta, they're probably the best or the most difficult. I wouldn't say, in the past game and stuff like that, they're probably, I don't want to knock them, but, there's better. But, they're a cut above in the run game, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's been their bread and butter for the few years. And you're just setting me up with my questions here. So I appreciate that. But, my next question leads right into it. Big game against Atlanta. Everything's on the table. This is, Bull said it. Every game's a playoff game from here on out. You guys are trying to get this division under wraps, and without beating Atlanta, it becomes extremely difficult. What's the feeling in the locker room? What's the message? What kind of what's the energy like coming into this week?
Bowles kind of left us with a message, going into this last game. You got to be able to look yourself in the mirror, after this game. And, I feel like everybody performed and they're able to look into the mirror. So, spirits are high. We're coming off a win. Everybody knows what they got to do. They knows what this next game means for the team. So just locking in and doing your job. Because, if everybody's doing what they're supposed to do when those MEs are down, we're pretty good, hard to beat.
Oh, yeah, definitely, especially if you can get some help back on the defensive side. Looks like Servassier might play, and, we're still waiting word on a couple of the other linebackers and Jamel Dean, but you get those reinforcements, that they all help you do your job better too by with their talent and skills. So big difference this year between in the locker room, huh? Between last season, you can kind of tell, even with the losses, you can still tell the energy is a little bit different. It's a little bit more, there's a little more camaraderie, a little more about the team.
Yeah, no question.
Which has been nice to see. I got one more, then we'll get into some fun stuff. So this is actually a fun one too, but so you notched a sack, half sack. I think all sacks should be a sack, but you notched a sack this season. You did a kip up afterwards. Is that the selling? Yeah. Is that going to be where did that come from?
I got a couple in my bag, man, but I got to wait for those big plays to come before I bust them out. When you're out there tired too, you can't hit a kip up every time. After a 10-play drive, that kip up might not be in the arsenal. So
last thing you want to do is miss a kip up on national TV.
Oh man, yeah, that's my biggest fear. But when I'm fresh, after a 3 and out or something like that, it's definitely be looking for that one.
So challenge, you gotta get a sack early in this game so you get that kip up.
Ain't no question.
There we go. So we'll jump into some fun stuff. It's a rapid fire. It's called this or that, and then favorite. So I'll just throw out two things, this or that. You tell me about it. I usually got a follow up on it, but we'll jump right into it. So this or that, Xbox or PlayStation?
Xbox.
What are you playing right now? Okay. What have you been playing?
On Xbox, I'm always I'm an Apex Legends guy. That's a battle royale first person shooter, kind of like Warzone, if you know what that is. Yep. But heavy on Apex. But I actually got a PC. I'll show it to you real quick, man. I got a little gaming setup going. Yeah.
There we go.
So I switched to PC, and I've been playing a lot of Counter-Strike. It's another game called Terraria. I really play everything. It's whatever my homies are playing. But Xbox guy for sure.
Okay, yeah. I've been on Fortnite. Me and Mikey played together this past weekend. We're doing the M&M event. My son got into it. I was always a COD guy back to Modern Warfare 2, but my son got into it, and it's kind of like a way for us to bond. And then he's out of control on it, screaming, yelling. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna find some adults to play with. Like I can't handle the yelling and screaming anymore. But yeah, so I've been playing a little Fortnite. Always Madden's always in the rotation. I got a little Hogwarts Legacy in there too. I've got so much left to finish. That game's so big. And then other platforms. I'm always a Pokemon guy, so I'll play that on the Switch a little bit here. Yeah. Okay, you got the Switch.
Man. Man, I got everything up here, man. Don't get me started on the games, man.
You played the last. Okay, yeah. I thought it was pretty good. It was different. It was different for sure.
Yeah,
I haven't beat it yet.
So I didn't beat it, but I got pretty close. I was, I get real into like the EV and IV, stats reading my Pokemon.
Oh, so you're a competitor battler or whatever it's called.
Ain't no question. Hey man, I got an older brother. Every time we play together and we're battling. So
all right.
Whatever I got to do to get that competitive edge, but definitely a big Pokemon.
Cheat code, man.
What's that?
Dragapult, he's a cheat code.
Yeah, you like him?
I like him. He became one of my he's fast. He's a ghost and Dragon. We're getting off the rails here. They got DLC off too though, but I haven't checked the DLC yet. I gotta check that out. All right, let's get back on track here. I'll talk about gaming all night. Beach or mountains?
I'll go mountains, man. I like the cold weather. I love the cold weather, so go mountains.
I miss the mountains, but I love the beach too. Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Marvel, who's your favorite hero?
Probably Thor.
Okay.
Like Thor, man.
Every defensive end or lineman I've had on this has said Hulk or offensive lineman. It's been Hulk.
I was gonna say Hulk, man, but Thor's like that.
He's God of Thunder. You can't. He's a god. City or country?
City.
Okay. Car or truck?
Truck.
What are you whipping? Anything good?
I got a 22 GMC Denali.
Oh, okay. Okay, you fancy, huh? Movie or TV series?
Series.
What any good series you've been watching recently?
So I'm watching The Boys right now.
So good.
So good. I really like that.
So good.
You never know what Homelander's gonna freaking do, man. He's a lunatic.
He's off the rails.
Yeah, but
they have a spin-off series that just came out this past year. Once you're done with that, you got to hop into that. That was phenomenal.
What's it called?
Shiitake mushrooms. It's on Prime. You'll be able to find it. It's like the college, like the boys' college where the superheroes go to college. It's like a special college, but it's really cool. It's got some cool cameos and ties right into the storyline, so it's awesome.
Okay.
And then Invincible's really good too. If you watch that yet, yeah, that's really good. I just caught up the other day. Would you rather do? Would you rather get a sack or a big tackle for loss on a drive?
Sack.
Okay. Interception or fumble recovery?
Interception all day.
Okay. All right. Favorites. We're gonna jump into favorites now. Favorite movie?
That's hard. I'll probably say that's hard.
I gotta put you on the spot with these, man.
I just watched Interstellar recently.
No way. Who'd you watch it with?
Blew my mind. I was by myself, man.
Who just watched that?
Who's that?
Luke Gedeke.
Did he really? Did he like it?
He was just on last week. He said the same thing. He said, "I just watched Interstellar for the first time, and it blew my mind." So
dude, crazy. Insane. Bro, I was up for probably 30 minutes after my bedtime looking up black holes in the different dimensions.
The soundtrack's amazing too, man. That Interstellar soundtrack is great. Yeah, that's a great movie for sure. Favorite sports team growing up?
Oklahoma Sooners.
Okay, Boomer Sooner. You got Baker on the team. Place you visited?
Favorite place I visited?
Yeah.
I'd probably say Germany. I've never been out of the country. That was my first kind of expedition. So I definitely say that was the coolest. It was so different, from America. So
the old world.
Huh?
The old world.
Yeah, the old world. I enjoyed that. I don't know if I'd ever go back.
No?
I feel like there's cooler places in Europe that I haven't seen yet, but I'd say Germany takes the cake.
I haven't been to Europe yet. Once my kids are older, me and my wife, I want to plan like a month vacation out there and just kind of hop around because Europe's like half the size of the United States. You can literally drive 2 hours in a different country. It's like
yeah, for sure.
So I definitely want to check all that out. What's your favorite food?
Steak dinner.
Can't go wrong with a good steak. Have you had any good steak down here in Tampa? Any good spots?
Oh, a ton. I probably had the best steaks in my life down here. I'd say Charlie's is really good. Ocean Prime has a good steak.
Yeah.
Ruth's Chris is pretty good. They got
a ton.
Yeah.
Check out Meat Market next time you're out there. Everyone swears by Burns, and Burns is phenomenal.
I haven't been to Burns.
Burns is phenomenal, but Meat Market's got some really good steak too, and it's a vibe too. Like Burns is like, it's more of like kind of upscale, but like Meat Market, you can just kind of go and chill. You don't need to get super dressed up, jeans and a button down, and just get some good steak. And like I said, it's in Hyde Park. It's a vibe down there for sure.
Noted.
What's your favorite cereal?
I'm a weirdo, man. I like Special K. I like the little strawberry. Yeah. Yeah, I like the little strawberries in there, man. But if it's not Special K, cinnamon toast crunch is
that's the correct answer. Yeah, that's the correct answer. But no, Special K is not too bad. You put a little sugar on those bran flakes, tastes a little bit better. Favorite game you've ever watched?
Favorite game I've ever watched. Did it have to be football?
No, any game.
I don't know if you call this a game, but the Fury Ngannou fight.
Okay, yeah, that counts.
Yeah.
What was that? That
was recently.
Yeah, recently. Yeah. Favorite color?
Blue. Favorite
TV show?
See, I'm an anime guy. I like it's called One Piece.
One Piece? Yeah, they just didn't they just do the live action, right?
Yeah, not live action, but yeah, they did.
You don't like the live action?
I haven't seen it. I'm kind of.
It's on Netflix.
I've seen. Yeah, I saw it on Netflix, but I've seen like the kind of trailer of it, and
hesitant.
Huh?
You're hesitant.
Yeah, hesitant. Exactly.
So I'm not a huge anime guy, but one of my favorite TV shows, especially like cartoons of all time, is Avatar. I love Avatar.
Yeah.
And M. Night Shyamalan live action movie that he made was absolute trash. So like
that's part of the reason why I'm hesitant.
Right.
Yeah, I saw live action.
The trailer for the new live action Avatar on Netflix, it comes out in February, looks really good. Like the actors look really good. It looks like it's going to stay true to the story. It's going slower so they can actually do like book 1, book 2, so like I'm excited. I'm a little hesitant because like Avatar and even Katara, like that holds a special place in my heart. Like those are just some great anime. I'm not super like my son's into like Dragon Ball and Naruto and all those Naruto. I don't know how to say it. I watched Yu-Gi-Oh when I was growing up too. That was one, but I've never really been a huge anime guy, but Avatar is my shit for sure.
Yeah.
What would you want for your bending ability?
Bending? Man, that's a hard question. I thought about that a lot.
All right.
I feel like the most practical would probably be earth or water. Right. I feel like just being an airbender would be so dope, bro.
It'd be dope.
Be so dope. You could be like Zahir, fucking fly.
Right. That'd be crazy. You know what's crazy too? Like if you watch Katara, right? Yeah. So like, Earth, they start to get metal bending and then magma bending. So it's like magma, it's almost like fire. So it's like, maybe I'll pick Earth because I've always been like fire was super cool, with the lightning and stuff like that.
Yeah, but exactly. I feel like you can only use fire for like they said, like destruction. You can't really use fire in somebody.
Right, true. You got water you can heal and stuff like that too. So, yeah. We're getting off the rails here talking anime. Pokemon. There's Pokemon and anime. We're getting off the rails here. Same subject. Sports, which is a great anime itself, but favorite sports memory?
I'll probably say sacking Desmond Ridder, sacking wow, y'all can clown me. I forget his name. My first NFL sack, Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers. That's
how do I forget that, man? But yeah, sack Aaron Rodgers. Can't forget that.
That's a check. That's a check right there. Favorite dessert?
Cheesecake.
Okay, always good. Favorite season?
Season?
Yeah. Like of the year, not like season you
Okay. Probably say fall. I like the fall, especially up north.
Yeah, especially when it's like changing and stuff like that. Who's your favorite player growing up?
Probably Calais Campbell.
Beast.
Peace.
Did you gonna get a jersey swap after the game?
I might, ask him.
Might as well, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how long he's gonna be in the NFL for. He's getting up there. Might as well do it. Favorite game you've ever played in? Be college, NFL, high school.
I'll probably say the conference championship against Cincinnati my senior year. That was a pretty good time for me.
Nice. That's really all I got, man. Thanks so much for coming by. That was fun. We're gonna have to let's trade Xbox
gamer
tags and Switch gamer tags so we can battle each other.
Hey man, I'm on every day when I'm not working. If I don't have no film or nothing, so let's do it.
For sure. I'll hit you up after this. But I want to thank you again for so much for coming on here. Big game, man. I wish you best of luck for this game and the rest of the season. Handle your biz. I'm waiting for that kip up too, the next sack, and I'll see you sometime this week, I'm sure. But thanks again for coming on, and we'll talk to you soon, man.
Yeah, thanks, brother.
Awesome. You guys have it. Another player coming on, breaking down some great stuff, getting to know him a little bit more, some of his likes, dislikes, and just kind of getting to know his story and, a beat on this Bucs team. So hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We'll be back again this week with a breakdown of this Atlanta Falcons. We'll get Will McFadden back on here. We talked to prior to see what's changed for this team. Obviously, there's been a couple things. Desmond Ritter's back at quarterback after being benched. So we'll get a little bit more insight on this team. A huge game, huge matchup. And you never know who we'll have on next Tuesday. So keep it right here at Pirate Parlay on the Sick Podcast. Always coming at you with great guests, special surprises, and good insight and analysis to this NFL Bucs team. So we'll be back next week or later this week. This will come out. Yeah. It's been a long day. We'll be back later this week, and I'll talk to you guys then. Peace.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Pirate Parlay on YouTube, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.